All right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, coming this evening with a message. I hope you all had a wonderful Sabbath. I know I did. I really enjoyed my Sabbath. Sister Deborah wanted to pull up this evening with this message, bound in the Spirit. Bound in the Spirit. Again, this message is not for any and everybody, okay? It's for the individual who are spirit and truth and know that they have the Ruach HaKodesh residing within. They have the light before them. I should have had this. And this is who this message is for. Bound in the Spirit. This is another one of those lessons that I think that when in a place of any kind that is looked at as a place of worship, this should be something that should have been taught. And even individuals who consider themselves to be someone in the body of Hamashiach. And the reason why I say in the body of Hamashiach, I wouldn't be on here if I wasn't. If I was not in the body of Hamashiach, I would not be on this bound in the Spirit. It's the topic of this message. I would not be on here speaking or on here, period. If I have to come on here and portray the world, this here platform wouldn't be where I would be at, okay? This is not a place that I would want to be on or be in or connected with dancing with the world. Every time an album gets put on, everybody wants to dance. With me, I would not have been on this platform at all had I been one that's here to serve the world. And with that being said, I'm here to represent the Most High Yah. And that's one that I am so grateful for him allowing me to be able to come onto the devil's platform and speak his spirit and his truth. The topic is bound in the Spirit. And this is a topic that I feel that should have been taught to the body of Hamashiach. And I mean, this is another one of those topics that you should start with like at 5 years old, teaching this message at 5 years old, because you really need to understand the spiritual seeds that is bound to the Spirit of the Most High Yah. And it's not a choice of our own. It is what heavens has chosen of his own to have us bound to him. Okay? So when we get down here, no matter which direction we might go left, we might go right, we might go up, we might go down, but when it all said and done, when he finished with us on this earth, we're going to come back around and be facing him, going in the direction in which he walketh. We shall follow behind him. So this message is going to talk about those that were bound. And they're going to give you a little bit of their insight of how they knew that they were bound. And see, a lot of you all would take bound, like a lot of people, a lot of the pastors, they taught it. And they taught it out of the order of what is righteous. They don't know how to use. They said, well, see, he said, if we bind it on earth, we got to be down here and we got to bind it. That's not what he's saying. He's telling you no matter what you get on earth, it has to be first either bound in the heavens, if it's bound, if it's bound on the earth, or it has to be loose from the heavens if it's loosed on the earth. Y'all, I have heard several pastors teach that out of order. They teach it as if down here, we that are down here controls he that is up there. It's like he dropped the power and authority for us to conquer it on the level of the earth, and he then conquered it in the kingdom. Now, I'm just telling you based on what I have actually sat down and heard pastors teach and preach. When I hear that, I think how sick it is. This is how most of them have done. They have given you this idea that they had the power to do everything on the earth, and they reign over the earth itself, and heavens has to bow down to them. That's how they taught it. That's how do you think they got a great multitude following them? Even here on YouTube, is they giving people the idea that the world and the earth rule, to where the people don't even understand even who created them, because they have taught them for so many years to where it's just people are numb to the fact of anything that's truth. They believe that the earth, the world controls it all, and that the heavens, he that sits on the throne that created it all, have no say so in it. And this is how they have been teaching for many, many, many years. So let's start with Galatians. In the book of Galatians, and the topic again is bound in the spirit. Are you bound in the spirit? Or are you just out here naming it and claiming it? Okay. Let's say that again. Are you bound in the spirit, or are you just naming it and claiming it? Let's go to Galatians chapter 2 and verse 20. Galatians chapter 2. And verse 20. And it reads, I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless, I live. Yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. You see that? Christ liveth in me. Now watch this here. And the eternal which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith of the Son of Yah, who gave me and gave himself for me. Okay. Now here, notice who is saying this. Paul, I believe. Is this Paul? Yeah, I believe it is. He's saying that I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless, I live. I'm living, but I'm already I'm crucified with Christ. Okay. Yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. You see that? He's not claiming that he's all that and some. He's directing us to who he is, or who Christ is, and who he is living, Christ living in him. Okay. So he says, Christ live in me, and the eternal which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith. See, there go faith. See that? I'm gonna tell y'all something. I don't care where you go in living, you're gonna learn that too many people are not gonna teach faith because they have no idea what it is. Now, I've heard prophets speak and prophetess. Faith is something that you own. You know, just like the whole armor, put on the whole armor. In their mental state of mind, they think that the whole armor is something they can actually go into the closet and put on, and now they ready for the battle. It has no connection to the outer man. Okay, it is spiritual. Same thing here. He said, I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless, I live. Yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. So he's letting you know Christ live in him. Okay? Not so much as that I'm crucified with him and I'm all that and some. No, he's letting you know Christ live in him. Okay? That's why, and he said, even though I'm living, Christ still lives in me. And eternal, which I use that for as life. No, I shouldn't say it eternal, but life which I know I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of Yah, okay, who gave me and gave himself for me, okay? So I like what he's saying because he's trying to get us to understand it ain't nothing he did. It's what Christ did and how Christ lives in him. So he's giving the glory to who? To Christ being in him. It's not, he's not wanting us like most people do, wanting everybody to think it's the individuals. This is how all these people get all these likes and subscribers and be praised. That's why all these pastors, Joe Osteen, I ain't never heard him quote nothing and out of his own instruction book. He always gives stories of his father. He still does that. It ain't that I listen to him, but I'm just saying this is who he is. He ain't never been called. These people, but look at the multitude that follow this. And then you would think that, no, I didn't say you think, but many people think that this country got it going on and this country is all that and something. How could y'all even think like that? I just heard Louis Farrakhan have the nerve to speak at his wife funeral. I think he said, is it 72 or 73 or 4 years he had with her. This is before this is when they got married. That's how many years he had. Did you know not one time he gave God the glory? He gave Muhammad, a man. He didn't connect the Most High to nothing in his whole speech. And I thought that was really sad because I know this ain't the same man I heard back in, it's been years, when he was dying of this here sickness. And he talked about how he pleaded with the Father in the kingdom that if he would let him live, he would teach the gospel. That man ain't taught no gospel. Even out. He started off though. I'm gonna be right. He started off doing it right, but he got away from it. So all he spoke at the funeral called himself speaking, but he gave the Most High no glory, no honor for him giving him all those years with that wife. He said that was so good, but he glorified Muhammad for doing that. And I'm like, how could that be? How could even the people entertain that? But this is where the country is at. This is where they were. They have always been right there. And it doesn't, you can't really weigh it into a race sort of thing. It's just the minds of people have never turned to a living creator. They have always been far off in the deep. And they always serve these other gods. Okay. But you would think in such a time as this, he giving you all those years with that wife, and all you can say is you thank Muhammad. Even you sitting here talking about how you look and you see how everybody look good, everybody's dressing good, but you go into thanking him for that. It's just a strange thing. But here in this here, Paul is talking about I am crucified with Christ. So he's letting you know that I know I live, but I'm crucified with him. What is he saying? I'm already in there, y'all. That's all he's telling you. Where is he in? He's in the kingdom already, crucified with Christ. And that's why he said, nevertheless, I live. Just letting you know, I'm living, but I'm crucified with Christ already. And he said, I live by the faith of the Son of Yah. So these things shows you, y'all, it's bigger than you just saying, words out of your mouth. Okay, it's bigger than that. He's actually letting us know that in the kingdom, I'm already listed. Even though I'm living, I'm already crucified with Christ. Now, how could that have happened to Paul? How could you be crucified with Christ, Paul, and you living? You wasn't living like you're living, like you're speaking now, Paul. So how was you See, because heaven's already signed them in and signed them out, y'all. And ain't nothing nobody can do about it. It's nothing nobody can do about it. But he's letting you know. He's already in there. So the topic again is bound in the spirit. Believe it or not, Sister Deborah is bound in the spirit. And what do bound mean in Hebrew? Bound in Hebrew, Strong's 631. It means to tie, bind, and imprison. We that are the spiritual seed, we are tied to Yah. We are bind to Yah. We are bound to Yah. We are imprisoned to Yah. And this is what Paul was saying. I'm already in there. I'm already crucified with Hamashiach, Christ. And this is how we that are the light, that are the spiritual seed, we have to see ourselves already with Yah. Not so much as, we got when he come for America, or when he destroyed this, or when he go here, or when he do this. No, listen to Paul. Paul said, I'm living, but I'm crucified with Christ. And faith was already assigned to me through the Son of Man. Not through the Son of Man, through the Son of Yah. You see, he's actually telling y'all, I'm already in there. This is what I was saying should have been taught, I would say, from 5 years old in Sunday school, Bible class, even to not just 5-year-olds, but I'm just saying all the way up to elders. This is a topic. Being bound in the spirit is people who already been assigned, appointed, and anointed. And it's nothing they can do to get out of it. You see? So let's go to Acts. In the book of Acts, chapter 20, verse 22. In the book of Acts, chapter 20, in verse 22, it reads, verse 22, and now, behold means to look. It says in verse 22, and now, behold, I go bound in the spirit unto Jerusalem. I go bound in the spirit into Jerusalem. Many of you all have no idea that your spirit is already bound. It's already tied, bound, in prison to the Most High Yah. A lot of you all don't know that, but for real, that's exactly what it is. And it's nothing you can do to get out of it. Even when there's times when you just want to throw up your hand and say, I just can't do this. I can't take it. Guess what? It's too late. It's been too late. You're already bound to Yah. You're bound to serve Yah. You're bound to walk with Yah. You're bound to speak regarding Yah. Everything about Yah, you are already bound to. Even if you don't open your mouth, guess what? You still bound. You're already bound. Now listen to this here. In Acts chapter 20, verse 22. And now, behold, that means, look, I go bound in the spirit unto Jerusalem. I tried to explain to you all the brands of the spirit was righteous, belief, faith, fear, and hope. It's not brand to your flesh. It's a brand to your spirit. You get what I'm saying? So here he's actually saying as well, he's bound in his spirit. So when I'm saying bound and that you're imprisoned to the spirit of Yah, You can't get out. It's your spirit. I'm not speaking of your flesh. I'm speaking of your spirit. And this is what he said. He said, I go bound in the spirit into Jerusalem, not knowing the things that shall befall me there. You know, that's scary. He don't know what's going to happen. But by the spirit, he's already bound to go into Jerusalem. He's already missioned. He's already ordered to go into Jerusalem. Do he know what he's about to face? He has no idea. But his spirit is bound. So he don't have no other choice. See, what that's another thing I was telling y'all. When you are of the spiritual seed, it is your spirit that Yah come in and abide in you, and your spirit abide in him. So here he said that he said, and now look. So he's trying to tell somebody, y'all, look, I go bound in the spirit unto Jerusalem. And he don't have no idea that he can't even stop it. He can't even control it. It is a mission from the Most High Yah that has bound him, his spirit, to enter into Jerusalem. And he said he's what do we say? Knowing the things that shall befall me there. But listen to what he says. Save that the Holy Spirit witness in every city, saying that bonds and affliction abide me. So he's going in there, but his spirit is already bound to go into Jerusalem. So he's not letting you think. He ain't giving you this idea of his flesh. Oh, I'm going in here. He letting you know it ain't no part of me under this control. I am bound to go in there. And then in verse 23, say that the Holy Spirit witness is in every city, saying that the bonds and the affliction abided me. Okay, so here he's about to go into something. But do he have the control? No, he don't. His spirit is already leading him into Jerusalem. And a lot of you all don't know why you hang on and you hold on to the Most High unchanging hands. It's because you're bound, baby. You can't get out. There's no way out. It's no way out. As it was no way in, guess what? There's no way out. Woo! I like that. So therefore, understand, there's no way out. Like I said, it was no way in, and it's not going to be no way out. Because a lot of people right today are and have turned another direction. But to me, those are people who are not bound from the kingdom to go in the way of what is righteous. You see, that's what makes them feel that they have the choice, because they chooses to go in other religions. Like this one lady told me, she had came down here to visit me, her and her grandson. And she had came but when she decided to go, she said, Sister Deborah, she said, I love you. And I just want to let you know, I decided to go another way in life. So, and I know which way that is, because we had a whole lot of talking. And so, but, and I said, okay, you know, sometimes she dip in and out, but I said, okay, because she just made the choice, and she was the one that was following me the whole time I've been on YouTube, her and her daughter. But she made a choice, and she was saying that she went, and I knew exactly what way she was talking about, because me and her had discussed it for a whole year. So, you know, it's nothing, no one could, you know, you can't go after that, you know. And the same thing about her daughter. Her daughter was like, I think, her daughter was like at first 26, and I think she got to where she got 33, and she just went out there real deep. I mean, I wouldn't have never thought it. Sister Deborah wouldn't have never thought. I mean, when I say I wouldn't have never thought, I wouldn't have never thought that direction. You know, you expect people to just fall away, to get themselves together and just go out into the world, but not that deep out into the world, you see. So I understood what she was saying when she said, Sister Deborah, I love you, but I just decided to go another way, another way. And she knew I knew what she meant, but I didn't ridicule her or down her, because there was something she was battling with in her spirit as well. So I told her, okay, like I said, she dips in and out sometimes. Um, but here in the book of Acts, chapter 20 and verse 22, he actually letting you know, look, I'm bound. I have to go into Jerusalem. It ain't my choice. When you are bound to Yah, it's no way out, y'all. You can go on and do whatever you want, but you're going to always return back where he has assigned you to, okay? And you're going to find yourself going this way, going that way, and coming right back. And sometimes he allow you to stumble over so much, and then you look up and say, so you're just not going to let me move on. You see, I'm not going nowhere. It's no other way but that way. Then you get back into the order. It ain't that you went far out. It's just that he wasn't letting you go out. You see, and that's how I feel. I ain't gonna sit here and give you no story. That's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. And mine is to the point where I don't want to go nowhere else. You see, I don't want to come out of the zone in which he have kept me all these years. Now, I never wanted to go away from him. That's another thing. I never had that desire, but maybe that's because I was bound. I was but I was bound. I never thought to go any other way, y'all. And you know what? I'm saying that and feeling good about saying it. Because I can think of even being a teenager, even being a young adult, even being a mother, and even being a wife. I never thought to turn away from all that he had invested in me. I never thought that way, or go another route of the world. I never thought like that. So let's go to Acts chapter 21. In Acts chapter 21 and verse 13. In Acts chapter 21 and verse 13. Then Paul answered, what mean ye to weep and to break my heart? For I am ready. I am ready not to be bound only. Woo! He called but also to die at Jerusalem for the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. I put it like that because it says Lord Jesus. But look at that. You see what Paul said? Paul said in verse 13, Acts 21 and verse 13. Then Paul answered, what mean ye to weep and to break my heart? For I am ready not to be bound only. That means I'm bound. Not to only be bound only. That's the bound where they was going to tie him and bound his hands and arms, or by force. But also to die in Jerusalem for the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. So he's saying that not only bound, but I'm ready to die. He said, let me, I got to, this thing is causing me to have a headache. I got to untie this a little bit. I'll be right back. You know what? I'm going to tell y'all, someone needs to help me make this make sense. How is it you got hundreds of tents selling fireworks. But in that whole city, no one's allowed to have fireworks. So how can the city allow all these people? I mean, just popped up everywhere. It seems like it's hundreds all over the place. So it's legal to sell them, but it's unlegal to use them. Y'all, Deborah, you better stop it. Stuff like that, it just does not make any sense. So y'all gonna let this world is gone. On every corner, they booming up these big old white tents, and they selling fireworks, but they selling them to us. It's right here in the county, but it's the city. No, is it the city? It's the county or the city, whatever. They got signs letting you know no fireworks is allowed in this city. But you're going to let them come all around to sell it. Stuff like that don't make sense, y'all. I'm telling you, it does not make sense. And when I saw that, I said, now see, this is what people need to be saying something about. Y'all, this is to me, and y'all might say, well, what is that to say? That it's a lie. It's showing you how sick. Here you are putting signs all over, and you know it's illegal. It's against the law. That's what I'm trying to say, y'all. In this here, this is the county. Okay, but why is it y'all it wasn't illegal for them to sell it? Do that make any sense? Y'all let them open up all these places, and it's a good, it's probably more than 100. But then y'all, I just don't get it. It don't make sense to me. It really doesn't. So being bound, I'm gonna tell you all. I know some of you all probably feel you probably don't feel that you are bound, but I can say this here: try getting out. Try going another way. You'll find out if you're bound or not. Okay. Again, the topic is bound in the spirit, and I'm not talking about bound in the flesh. I'm talking about bound in the spirit. Okay. Okay, and this is also what Paul is saying. This last one Paul was talking about here in Acts 21 and verse 13. Then Paul answered, what mean ye to weep and to break my heart? Because they weeping, because they're going to be taking Paul away. I am ready not to be bound only. That's bound his flesh, but also to die at Jerusalem for the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. So he's telling them, don't be crying and breaking my heart. I'm ready to be bound. I'm bound. Take me to Jerusalem to be, I guess this is where they was going to take his life, to die. Okay. So he was saying that he was not only ready to be bound by force, tied up, but also he's ready to die in Jerusalem. So who knows where Yeshua was crucified? Where was he crucified? Anybody? Who knows where Yeshua was crucified? Okay, in Jerusalem. Now, this is why I was saying, do you know that's called a great city? Anybody know what a great city is? Do anybody in the live know what a great city is? When you hear of a great city, anyone happen to know what is a great city? When Jerusalem was called also the place even where Yeshua HaMashiach, Yeshua was crucified. Okay, well, that's another topic I'm gonna talk about. A great city is a place like unto a Babylon. It's a place where I tell you another one, Nineveh, where Jonah left. That was another great city. The great cities are places where the wicked and evil and abomination and killing and murder and robbing and everything is at its highest. So whenever you go into your King James Bible and you see where it says a great city, this is a great city because this is a city that has great wicked and evil, abomination, murdering, stealing, just like Babylon, the great. Okay. If you look into Revelation, it continue to call it a great city. A great city. It kept saying a great city. It's this place, and Nineveh, when Jonah had to go to Nineveh. See, a lot of us, we would go into Jonah and we won't give him a chance. We really ain't listening to Jonah because Jonah had he had some good points, y'all. That place was a mess. Go back. And it was called a great city. Anytime they call it a great city, because it's great with much wicked and evil and abomination and idling and murdering and killing and stealing. That's what makes it a great city. And like I say, even when you go back into Revelation, you will see it. You go to Nineveh, and you will see it is called as well a great city. But it was a lot of stuff going on then. That's why Jonah didn't want to have no dealings with them people. That's how great the sin and wicked was back in the days. Okay. So here it says in Acts chapter 21, and I think I did Acts 21 and 13. That's when Paul was getting. Okay, and the next one was Thessalonians, Second Thessalonians. What I'm saying to you all is, a lot of you all might not know this, but being bound in the spirit, that's mean you already written in the Lamb Book of Life, y'all. You already written. You in there already. Ain't nobody can do nothing about it. Not even you. You see? So that's what bound in the spirit. And that's what we're talking about this evening, being bound in the spirit. Even if you tried, you couldn't get out. Second Thessalonians chapter 1 and verse 3. Second Thessalonians chapter 1 and verse 3. We are bound to thank Yah always for you, brethren, as it is meet, because that your faith groweth exceedingly, and the charity of every one of you all toward each other aboundeth. Listen to what he says. We are bound to thank Yah always for you. They are bound to it. See, a lot of y'all don't understand that a lot of people, even in your life, in your living, might be bound to be among you and around you to speak a word of how would I say, spirit and truth, a word of life. And a lot of people won't take to it because they're feeling, when that's just you, that's just what you believe, that's what and you're just speaking. But though, just imagine, I don't think y'all really gonna get this here, because if somebody come to you that's bound, that means that in the spirit realm they are bound to be a witness. Listen to what he said here. We are bound to thank Yah always for you. So Yah then bound them to be the one to be thanking him for you. They are bound to it. It's not like they just get up one morning and say, this is what I'm going to do. We're going to do this because it did. No, we're bound. And how did they get like that? Because of Christ. They are already in. They in the body of Hamashiach. They already written in the Lamb Book of Life. Those that are bound is already in, y'all. You can be, you are already in, even though you're living. That's what Paul was saying. Even though I'm living, I'm already bound. And this is what it means to be bound in the spirit. It's not like you're going to, you can't get out of it. People are being witnessing, and they can't understand why is it that the people are not taking heed to it. It ain't about them. It's about you being bound to do what you are bound to do. You are already written, and next to your name is that you are to do this. You're bound to it. Heaven is not going to take you out of where he have you bound in his spirit. No, he ain't. He ain't going to take you out. So here go 2 Thessalonians and chapter 3. Paul and a few the others apostles, he said, we are bound to thank Yah always for you, brethren, as it is meet, because that faith groweth exceedingly, and the charity of every one of you all toward each other aboundeth. Okay, so here Paul is like actually telling them we have to thank y'all for y'all. You know, we in a situation we don't have no other choice. This is our mission. This is our purpose, and you know that has to be for Paul, because Paul was doing something the opposite at one time. But how do Paul get to the point where he realized he's bound? Because he's not doing the things he used to do. And he know what he's doing now is out of his control. It's something in him that's greater than him himself, that's leading him to make sure he understand that you're bound to it. You can't get out of this. This is the mission from this day on all the way to the end. So he has to speak at a level where he is got to assure the other Gentiles, and even if he has to go to the Jews, but he was dealing with the Gentiles. Hey, I'm bound to y'all. This is what he bound me to, you all. So he couldn't get out of that. And many of you all don't understand you're bound. You know, you can't cross over to somebody else's religion, someone else's belief, someone else's interpretation, because you're trying to figure out, this is how I feel sometimes. You want to meet them halfway. You want to work in between, you know, so it won't be a division. No, you can't. When you're bound to what is righteous, you can't go to this area and say, okay, I'm gonna agree with you, y'all, you know, yeah, this is true, just to bring peace. No, peace don't come at that price. You don't turn in righteous and truth and as if it's the criminal just to make peace with somebody. No, you hold firm to that which you are bound to, and that is to speak spirit and truth. A lot of people, and many of you all out there, you all would rather say something to make somebody feel good than to speak truth and to speak righteous. But guess what that say about you? You will sell off righteous. You will sell in and sell out righteous and truth at a blink of an eye, just because you want to please someone, just because you want someone to be on your side and be with you. But as these disciples talk about being bound, they know that they are bound even to the point of death. You know, they ain't like we are today, quick to want to say things and do things to please people. Now, when you finish pleasing them, you ain't doing nothing but pleasing the devil, because you come in and you're making righteous and truth the lie just to please the devil and give him some temporary peace. No, you can't do that. You got to stick to what you are bound to, if you are bound. Many people can't even say that they are bound, but understand it or not, your spirit is bound. If the spirit of Christ is in you, Hamashiach, you bound. You bound. You went down with him. You came up with him. You bound. I know it. You wants to live in the world and out of the world. You wants to play both roles. But when you really bound, you don't have that taste and that desire to straddle the fence or be on the other side of the fence. And that's for real, y'all. You don't have that desire to be on the other side of the fence. You might have a desire to kind of fall away from how close you are, but never to the point where I'm going to go, I want to fall all the way. I want to taste that other side on the other side of that fence. I want to see what that's like. When that comes to you and you act on that, guess what? That's showing you that you belong on the other side. It ain't no such thing as, hey, I want to taste a little the other side of it, so I'm gonna go over on this side for a minute and I make it back. No, that's because you belong on that side. You just using deception and hypocrite, and you just playing a side that you might think you can use throughout living, but you want to go over here on this side and play around. But when you are bound to the spirit of Yah, hey, you in there. And not just are you bound on the earth, y'all. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. You're bound in the kingdom. So therefore, you are already written. Okay. So 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 13. And what is this about? 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 13, it says, but we are bound to give thanks always to Yah for you. There he's saying it again. Brethren, beloved of the Lord, because Yah has from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the spirit and belief of the truth. Okay, so he's saying here, but we are bound to give thanks always to Yah for you. See, that's what I'm saying to y'all. People don't understand that being bound to the spirit is not something that you can get out of. You can't get out of it. And if you get out of it, you was never bound. I don't know if that makes sense. You're never bound if you can get out of it. You're only bound because you can't go up to the kingdom and say, look, let me tell you, you blocked my name out of the Lamb Book of Life. You get on out of here. I don't want to be bound. No, you can't do that. You couldn't even if you tried. You see? So anybody that's out there that's actually serving the Most High Yah, be okay with being bound. Be okay with being bound. That's actually mean you're written in the Lamb Book of Life. You are actually bound to the spirit of Yah, your spirit to his spirit. And guess what? You don't even have to do that much work. You don't even have to do that much. But yet you are bound. You're in there. That's the sort of and as they continue to say that we are bound to give thanks always, they have to. They don't have no other choice because they are bound as the spirit realm to Yah, and they have to give thanks on on others' behalf that are also what it says, beloved of the Lord, because Yah have from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the spirit and belief of the truth. So they have to, but that's so sad, y'all. That's sad because it's like saying they actually telling you a way of how you can really support the body of Christ, the body of Hamashiach. How could they do it then and we don't do it now? That's confusing. How could they say, but we are bound to give thanks always to Yah for you? But why we don't do that today? If we are bound. To me, that's just strange. How was Paul, because Yah have from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the spirit and the belief of the truth. I'm sure Paul talking about the Gentiles, but still, I'm still saying, why is it we can't see ourselves as being bound in that sort of way. I don't know if that makes any sense. Why can't we see that in this day and time? But they could see it. It's just so many things that they saw back then, and they walked in. The way they connect and the way they went about doing things is so different today. Because somebody like me, I'm looking for the body of Hamashiach. I'm looking for the spiritual seed, the light, and it's just like you just can't seem to find him. If everybody is like pretty much off to themselves, holy than thou, and off to themselves, and more caught up. Let me go nail this thing to the wall. More caught up in taking the fence, where they feel that the flesh of the family is more important than the family that's connected to the body. You get what I'm saying? And that's why I say it's really confusing, because when you go back in to your study guide, you don't find people chasing behind their family. I don't know if y'all noticed that. I know 99.9 haven't. People don't chase behind their families and to make them the spiritual seed. You see, people don't be trying to get their loved ones to fall under the protocol of what they are called to do. You see, but in this day and time, it's like, blood is thicker than water. It's like not understanding. This is the whole reason why Yeshua HaMashiach came and said, I come to bring the sword. Oh, you thought I was coming to bring peace? No, I did not. I come to divide that. And it just like, it still doesn't mean anything to know that he still was dividing those that was bound and those that was loose to the world. That's still it's the same thing. And then just hearing Paul said it. Oh, that's fireworks. Hearing Paul say that again, I'm like saying, well, why can't we, as the body of Hamashiach, be bound in that same way toward one another? It's just a strange thing. It is really a strange thing. And Paul was talking to the Gentiles. I read something that I put in one of my lessons, and it says something about entertaining strangers. People, let me tell y'all, if I had to bust that wide open, it would make, to me, everybody who own a place of worship or own a church, own a Facebook page or whatever, or a YouTube page, he's saying that you be careful in how you entertain strangers. You're subject to be entertaining angels. So what do you have to do? You have to go back and realize who were the strangers. Other nations. And why didn't nobody ever teach that? Why is it that no one ever thought that even that warning alone lets you know that it is not about a certain nation of people only? You can see where the lie, you can see where everything and a lot of things people be saying is a lie. Because when I read that, I said, well, Father, they don't see that they wouldn't see it like that. But that's what he's saying. Who he telling you? Now watch this. When he said, be careful in how you entertain strangers. Strangers represent other nations, you guys. He's talking about other nations because he said you could be entertaining angels. So he's even letting the Jews know, be careful in how you entertain strangers, because you could be entertaining angels. You see? Meaning servants of the Most High Yah. But I'm going to have to get into that, because I put that in one of my lessons. And I said, but Father, why didn't nobody say anything about that? Why no one ever taught that in that order, And like I say, I'm not a person that goes in and out of the Bible. I'm the person that has been hearing the voice of Yah since I was a little girl. I take what he say. Like he speaks to me through water. He speaks to me throughout the day, at night, when I get up in the morning, even in the midnight hour, he speaks to me. And I take what he says, and then I will go in to see if anything in here is saying what he just said to me. And then when I find it, I take what he said and let it override what was said. Does it make sense? That's how I do it. But I don't go in here reading all these verses and all this. No, 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 no. So when I came up on this, I said, I heard them say this a lot of times. Be careful in how you entertaining strangers. But you don't understand. The strangers are, he's speaking of other nations. Why ain't nobody ever figured that out? I don't know. But I was just wondering about that. Let's go to Hebrew chapter 13. I wondered about that. I said, now people just got things kind of mixed up. Not mixed up, messed up. Hebrew chapter 13 and verse 1 through 3. Hebrew chapter 13, verse 1 through 3. Let brotherly love continue. Okay. Be not forgetful to entertain. No, here it is right here. Watch this here. Here it is right here. I just talked. See, I didn't know it was in this lesson. Here it is. Hebrew chapter 13, verse 1. Let brotherly love continue. Okay. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers. For therefore some have entertained angels unaware. You see? So he's letting the brotherly, let the brotherly give and gave continue, but not forgetful to entertain strangers. For therefore some have entertained angels unaware. Those are specialties. Those are specialties when you have to entertain angels unaware. It's specialties. Those who come down to do the work of Yah. He's telling them, be careful. Be not forgetful when you're dealing with strangers. So that to me would state different. The strangers would be more so other nations, I would think. Okay. Having entertained angels unaware. Verse 3. Remember them that are in bonds and bound with them, and them which suffer adversity, as being yourself as in the body. Okay. Now he says, remember them that are in bonds and as bound with them. So he's talking about the body of Hamashiach. That's really what he's talking about. And them which suffer adversities, as being yourselves also in the body. Okay. So he's talking, letting us know right here. Remember them that are in the same situation you are in. Remember them. And that's only fair. Because if you are bound and you're in bound, you are in bounds and you are in bound, and you are bound, know that y'all are in it together. You know what I'm saying? They are bound, you are bound. Don't look at it as if you're bound, but they can't be bound. You get what I'm saying? So I'm wondering, this is talking about the strangers that you could be entertaining. That it says about, is that's what you think that's what he's saying? I don't know. I think it is. He might be saying, remember them that are bonds as bound with thee, and them which suffer adversities, as being yourselves also in the body. So yeah, that's what he's saying. We're all bound in the body of Hamashiach, in the body of Christ. We are bound in this together, y'all. You see, we are all a oneness in the body of Hamashiach. It's not one just only in it and the other one is not. We are in this together. You see, and that's exactly what he's trying to. That's really what as it says, as being yourselves also in the body, letting us know being bound in the body of Hamashiach. We are all bound. Because guess why? Because Yah has bounded us to the body of Hamashiach. But I want you to understand, those that are in the body of Hamashiach, they are all the individuals that also are listed in the Lamb Book of Life. They are already written in the Lamb Book of Life. You ain't bound in bonds and which suffer adversities as being yourself also in the body. So he wants us to understand that we are all in the body. Now, what I do believe is that where he's talking about be not forgetful to entertain strangers. Be forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unaware. And I believe that. I believe that. I believe that. So it's really kind of letting us understand that in it all, we are all in it bound together. You see, not, we all scattered and lost. So let me ask you, wonder if in it all, if we are bound together, I guess that's going back to what I was saying yesterday, is it's in the spirit. We are bound together in the spirit. And that's what Yah is looking at. We are bound together in the spirit. Because the body of Hamashiach, which is Hamashiach, which is Christ, he's the head. So we are bound. We would have to be spirit too. He's speaking of our spirit is bound. That's it. Our spirit is bound together in the body of Hamashiach. Okay? So when the title is bound in the spirit, we are all bound in the spirit. Okay, let me read. He said, those who does the will of my Father. Yep, that's what he said. Even Yeshua got checked how he entertained that lady that said, even the dogs. Oh, yeah. Yep. Get the crumbs from the table. And that was that same example of a stranger. You see what I'm saying? So that's where you get, okay, I got you. Yep. That's that same example where he said entertaining strangers. For his true servants. I hear you. Yeah, I would say it's bound, is sealed. Yes, I would definitely say it's sealed. I would say that. I would say bound is sealed. Right. I like how you said that. We owe one another grace in the body because we're one. Exactly. And I see here a lot of people using that now. When I gave them grace, I gave them grace because I gave them grace. The world uses that word grace as a means of okay what a person does, and I gave them a little bit of grace, meaning it's okay, which I think is a good way of it's. I think it's a good word to use, because I think even where we at today, given that grace, we got to make sure that we are given the grace as the grace of the Most High has been given to us. The Ruach taught me that. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I hear a lot of people using it today as a means of okay, getting a person grace. Don't be so hard, or don't be so even though they did wrong, don't be so. That's what I'm saying. I heard it from a lot of people in the world, but I think looking at it in the standpoint of the spirit, I think we do need to give grace, not for just the body of Hamashiach, but grace alone. Thinking, if we get to thinking about how the Most High poured out all that grace upon us, and still pouring it out, and he didn't look and he didn't see that, okay, I'm going to give this one grace and not this one. I'm going to give this one grace. I'm not this one. I'm going to give this one mercy and grace and not this one. I believe he gave mercy and grace on all of us, that his will may make it from the beginning to the end. So he has to give us, he don't have to, but I think that's a part of what he did. He gave us grace and mercy to all of us, grace and mercy. And because of him giving us grace and mercy, we too need to know how to give that grace and that mercy to others. We need to know how to apply it, or is it something he want us to do? Because where we're at today, people are not doing things, and things are not being done under anything but heavy darkness and wicked and evil. You see, and the things that are being done that's clearly seen. We watching this take place all over the world, and everybody is, to me, is giving it a slap on the hand, or no one is looking at these dark and evil days for what was said that it would be. And if I think a lot of people have given lots of grace and mercy. I was just listening to this one young lady. She was 23, I think. No, yeah, I think she was 23. She had a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and her boyfriend that she had been with, he decided to shoot all of them. You see, and I'm sure she gave him. I guess there's a grace in the natural and there's a grace in the spirit. Let me put it like that. I better put it like that, because for her to continue to allow him to come there, and her to continue to have babies by this man, and her to continue to file complaints on him and continue to be with him until he decided, oh, I'm going to shoot all of y'all, my 2 babies and you. You see what I'm saying? You have to look at that as she gave him worldly grace, because she should have got away from that. Even if she loved that much, she should have thought about her babies. She lived, the babies, the 2-year-old lived, but the 4-year-old died. But they was in such critical condition. No one was expecting none of them, because she shot them up so many times. You see, so I look at that as her continue to let him in, and those were his babies, and laying down with him, having them babies, and constantly let him keep coming there. And you knew he was violent, and you knew he had a record, you knew he had, but yet, just could we say that was her having grace for him? But it was the grace of the world. That's all I could think. Yeah, the one that was for. Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, for nothing. I mean, but that's not just to me. That's happening by the hundreds among a people, Judah people. It's happening by great numbers. The only thing about it, the media is not going to cover it. They don't need to cover it. You see what I'm saying? Because it's happening 20 times on toward other nations. So they're not covering it all there either. But if covering those stories make a change, then yeah, let's cover it. Let's show it, y'all. Let's put it out there. Let's show it all what's going on. But showing it and ain't nobody doing nothing, nobody saying nothing. It's just like the next one come the next hour. Okay, the next one come next hour. Okay, the next one. It's just like things are happening, and I know for a fact that people are looking at it cockeyed, because it's just too much of it happening. And no, they can't cover it all, but those that they are revealing, it ain't making no change in nothing. It ain't stopping and causing one to think or to function. I think about the last place men would want to be is in somebody's prison, because these men are tearing these men up. I mean, everything they was created to be, they tearing it up. You see? So I'm like saying, who would want to even go into the 4 walls like that the rest of their lives? Y'all, it's just something about something that's going on that it does not affect anybody. Yep. And he jumped on his father. He jumped on his father in 2000 and one of them years. He jumped on his father, beat his father up, went to prison. Yep. But you would wonder, why was she having these babies by this man, and you constantly having issues with him like that? But you keep, it's just like, I don't know. It just so I guess people like that is also bound. But what I was trying to say is that grace, see how that type of grace can apply to worldly matters or those in the world. See, that's why I was saying also, grace goes two ways. Mercy goes two ways. Righteous goes two ways. You can even hit righteous in the natural, but it wouldn't hold a pot of water in the spiritual, because it's not the type of righteous. Self-righteous is what that is. But when you get to talking about wisdom and knowledge, you got that over in the natural. And we don't want to ever think that, because that's how I look at it. When I heard a couple of people talking about it, I wanted to do this, but I gave them grace. And I'm like, the things I've heard people talk about. That's why I was saying, when we speak of giving people grace, that's a beautiful thing if we use it in the spirit realm. You know what I'm saying? And know that it works on that end. It works on that end, and where Yah gave us grace. But when it come down to this worldly stuff, they're using it like like they make all these slang words. I don't know if you know that, but a lot of people are using that word grace. Or I gave them grace. Or I gave them grace. Like that's something they can apply in this day and time with the things that they feel that they are doing today. Let me see where I'm at. Hebrew chapter 13. Did I do that one? Oh, yes, I did. He was telling us that we're all bound together in the body. So Matthew's. So let me go here to Matthew's chapter 16. Matthew's chapter 16 and verse 19. 16 and verse 19. I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in the heavens, and whatsoever shall thou loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Here is where a lot of the pastors seem to think that the power is on the earth to the heaven. Can't be. It's what's loose from the heavens that allow you to bind on the earth, or to be loosed on the earth. Heavens has to loose it before you loose it. I mean, before you can gain it. Okay. Same thing with bound. Heavens have to. Let's verse 19. And I will give unto thee the keys to the kingdom of heaven, and whatsoever shall thou bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. It has to be bound in heavens before it is bound on earth, or it has to be loosed from heavens before it is loose on earth. So always know it comes from the heavenly level first and foremost, not the earthly level. Okay, so we too are bound from the heavenly level to the body of Hamashiach. Okay, even though we're down here on the earth, but we are already bound from the heavenly level. Okay, so in Matthew's chapter 18 and 18. Would you say that's not grace? I know that's right. I said domestic abuse when I was young. That's exactly what it is. But that's what they would say, and that would be their just reason, which is not a just reason. It's a unjust reason, because they just want them there, just want them in the house, and they don't care what happened, and thinking it's just gonna fade away. And this is what happened is exactly what it leads up to. Okay, so Matthew chapter 18 and verse 18, and it reads, Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. So he's not telling us to run down here and try to rule the earth, thinking the heavens got to loose it for us to get it. No, not like that. As if we can do something down here and heavens has to answer for it. Binding and loosing. No, heavens has to loose it, and heavens has to bind it if he don't want you with it. And if he do want you, he has to loose it. It ain't no such thing that we ruling everything down on the earth. I know we think we are. We think for real that we run this thing. That's what the mindsets of people are at. They think, hey, I can run this. And binding and loosing and loosed, y'all bound everything. So a lot of you all don't understand why you just can't shake who you are in this that you walk therein. It's because you are bound. You can't get out even if you try. No matter where you go. You can go a trillion miles away. You're going to still be bound because Yah is the one that bound you to this purpose, his purpose. So you can't get out of it. Okay, 2 Timothy. Any questions in the live? If anybody have any questions, shoot your questions. And there's many individuals in the live. And if they can't answer them, maybe I can. I don't know everything, but I can try. If we have anybody who has some questions, and individuals have the answer. So being bound in the spirit, you're already signed to the kingdom. Okay, ain't nothing you can do about it. I like one thing I do. I'm gonna tell y'all that another thing they should always taught, but they can't teach it if the Holy Spirit is not in them. Something else. The Father will see you doing something so wrong. He'll stand there. He even put a stumbling block. But you know what he will do when it's just totally disrespecting the temple? If he's abiding in you and you just totally bringing something to the temple over and over, he'll take that destroy your temple just to save your spirit. A lot of y'all don't know that, but that's how he rumbled. That should have been taught in every places of worship, even on this devil platform. He'll take you out just to make sure that he keeps your spirit intact. He'll take that flesh out because he don't want you bringing that to the temple where he abide. Your spirit is his temple. That's where he come to abide. And if he's in your temple and you study bringing all this worldly matter to your temple, guess what he would do? He would take you out of here to keep you from bringing that corrupted stuff to his temple where he abide. It's your temple, but he abide there. So I think that's a beautiful thing. I know a lot of people wouldn't understand that, but to me, I think that's a beautiful thing. Take your tail on out of here. Get your butt on out of here. You gonna bring all that mess to the temple? Take them on out. Father, no, if it was me, no way. I'm just gonna tell it like I feel it. But him and only him. That's why he's all that and some. He can only do that. Before he let you lose your eternal spirit, before he let you lose it, he'll take that flesh out of here. Just so you can be saved, y'all. And that, I think, is sad that they never taught that in the place of worship. They should have always taught that. To let people, do you know what that would help? That would have helped a lot of pedophiles or people who porno and people who gamble and people who prostitute. A lot of people, if they had known that he would take your tail out before he let you bring all that to the temple. And not only that, but right now, guess what they do? They do all these things and still think they holier than thou. You know why? Because their temple is not his. They think it is. They think that their temple is his temple. No, it's not. That's why he took your tail out, because you don't belong to him no way. That's why you still living, doing the same thing you've been doing, still saying holy is his name. That's why he took your tail out. Because if you were bound to him, hey, he'll pull up and pull out. He'll sign death, sniff that breath out of here. Because he said, don't play with me. Don't bring that mess to the temple. So a lot of people bringing mess to the temple and living a hypocrite life and out there in the world thinking they saved. And they think it's okay for them to do everything they do. I'm still saved. You're right. You are saved. You saved for last in the lake of fire. That's where you saved for. To do whatever you're doing, and then you go into the lake of fire. That's how you save. Okay? So, but when you have the Holy Spirit, he'll take you out of here. All you have to do is also think about Moses. A lot of people wouldn't even think of that because they want everybody to see Moses a certain way. But to tell the truth, to shame the devil, hey, what did he tell him? You did a couple of things that I displeased. You ain't going over to the promised land. Your buck stop right here. Go up to that mountain. That's the last time they're gonna see you. See, y'all think he play. That's not the type that I learned since I was 4. He's not one to play with you. He means what he say, and he say what he means. Nobody and ever since I ever lived heard them teach why Moses didn't make it to the promised land. Because he flipped on who? The Most High Yah. He flipped on him. Same thing with Solomon. Same thing. Solomon flipped on him. Was Moses about the Most High Yah? Sure it was. Was Solomon about the Most High Yah? Yes. Let me get y'all tails on out of here. See, he would destroy the body before he let you continue to disrespect him. Oh, yes. He said, before I let you bring that trash to the temple, I allow you to stumble. I do everything I want to get you to straighten up. After a while, I destroy you before I let you continue to bring that mess to me, and I abide in the temple. Oh, no, you ain't. You ain't finna bring that trash in the temple, and I'm there too. Okay, somebody got to give out of here. And that's how he rumbles. And I see that to be fit. I really do. I really do. I see that to be fit. You say they wrote that backwards. No, yeah, that's definitely mercy. Yep, he nip it. And people don't even think that's how, and it ain't that it wasn't said. It wasn't spoken to. I don't believe that those disciples were left here, and those that came after them and those that came after, for us to be so out in the dark. I don't believe that was I don't believe that was, I believe that people stopped having, no, I believe the Holy Spirit wasn't in people that has taught in these last 20 generations or more. I'm for real, y'all. I don't think things were taught in the okay, verse 18. What was that? Matthew's 18 and 18. I don't think that was really taught back then. A lot of things, because as you see it today, I think it wasn't that they didn't know it, because I think the disciples did a really good job. The disciples did a really good job. I think you're probably talking about the bound, and where's it at? 18 and 18. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye bind on earth Whatsoever ye bind on earth shall be bound, okay, in heaven. You bind it on earth, heavens has it already bound in the heavens, shall be bound in the heavens. I think that they could have wrote it wrong. I don't see it like that. I see it as if, verily I say unto you. I think it can hit, let him. No, I think it's, let me go to the next one again. I say unto you. Okay. Okay. Let's go to 18. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever you shall bind. So say for instance, you got something. Let's say for instance, you got that job on the earth. You wouldn't got a new job on the earth. You just got a new job on the earth. God didn't play no role in it. Anything that you get on earth, heavens has to loose it or bind it, keep you from it or allow you to get it. Everything is in the kingdom first. You being down here was in the kingdom first. So it's impossible for us to bind something on the earth as if we have the ability in the spirit realm or in the natural to bind it. Heaven's got to loose it and bound it to keep you from getting it, and loose and loose it to allow you to get it or to keep you from getting it. I believe that everything starts with the protocol. Now, let me see what verse 19. Again, I say unto you that if two of you shall agree on the earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of the Father which is in heaven. You see that? Now you go from 18 to read 19. That answers the question. 19, any two that come to agree, anything that they ask, they shall ask. There it go. Verse 19, answer verse 18. See if you see that. I don't know if you can see it. Yep, most likely, always. So agree with the revelation. So agree with the revelation. Yep. But see where the truth come in is in verse 19. You see how you see it? You can read 18 and you might get kind of, that's, but when you know who bind and who loose, who bound and who loosed on the earth, then you know already he's letting them know if you get something, it's because I loosed it to you. If you don't get nothing, because I bound it from you. So then he turned around and showed you in verse 18. Again, I say unto you that two of you shall agree on the earth as touching anything that they shall ask. Watch this here. That they shall ask, in y'all agreement, in a oneness. It shall be done for them of the Father, which is in the heaven. So he's showing you an action of two in one agreement, in agreement as one. But what happens? It's done from the Father. You see, so that's kind of answer 18. Letting you know it's still coming from the Most High Yah. Right, he flipped it more. Yeah, right, in verse 19. Okay. You're right. It's not for everyone. Exactly. You are so right. It's not. So, what would you all say that we that are bound, what do you find yourself bound to? It's meant for me and you, the body. Yes, that's meant for me, you, and the body. Exactly. If you said, if you had to say to us, where will you see that you are bound? Could you say that you're bound? You can, let me say it like this. Can you feel somewhere along the line? Now tell the truth, you guys. Tell the truth that you are bound. Because I do. I feel. I'm like, okay, Paul, I'm with you now, Paul. I'm all the way with you, Paul. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm with Paul. I feel bound. I feel bound, you guys. Yeah, I feel bound. Anybody? Do y'all feel bound? I know a lot of y'all are free. You're loosed. You don't feel bound. But Sister Deborah feel bound. On every corner there is, I feel bound. But you say you always been bound from the jump. Okay, I hear you. What you say from? Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm serious. You saying that, but you know what? I always felt bound too. What you say? I feel like I can't go anywhere else. I feel bound. Oh yeah. And it's a heavy feeling. It truly is a very, very heavy feeling. I even asked, is this is it? Y'all only, if only y'all knew why Sister Deborah was laughing. I said, Father, is this it? And you mean to tell me this is really it? Because that's how I feel. I wrestle with the Father. The much I always lose the argument. Anyway, I'm bound and sometimes don't like it. That's my bad. Yep. And don't like it. Yeah. Wow. What are we saying then? What do you think that we might be saying that we're not saying to the Most High Yah? That's who we said to the Most High Yah. We feel that thing. That's what we feel that thing, Father Yah. We feel it. I don't want to go anywhere else, even when He's chastising me. Yep, I accept it because it's my good, for my good. Yep, yep. But let me explain something, y'all. I know that I'm bound, and I'm good with that. But when I said I was bound, there's another bound that I think I was talking about. And I feel bound to it. And that's the sad thing, you know. Had not it been for being bound to the spirit of the Most High Yah, I don't think I would be able to survive being bound in the flesh as well as being bound in the spirit. And you know what? The thing about being bound in the flesh, I don't have to be, but I don't know no other way out. I don't know no other way out. You know why? Because he that has me bound in the spirit has the ability to loose me being bound in the flesh. But maybe he has loosed me. I just ain't loosed myself. I just didn't turn loose myself. So maybe he have loosed, but I still feel bound. I know y'all don't know nothing about that. To be honest, it's me not trusting him. I'm going to speak the truth and shame the devil. Even I feel shame. So you think it's you not trusting him? Wow. You know what? I'm trying to see. Could it be me not trusting him? I don't think so. I think it's just me just not knowing how to be set free. Now I'm free in the spirit. I'm free indeed. Maybe because I'm still waiting for him to do what? Pull up with that right hand. That's what. Oh, yep. Is it that you don't trust him, or are you afraid? That's a good point, because sometimes that could be it too. I know that's right. Being grateful to be bound and sealed. You too, sister. Is it because you are afraid? You know what? I don't even think it's being afraid, though, for me. I really don't. Because the more and more, I don't even think it's even being afraid. It's just more so because I think he has set me free. He has loosed, but I myself still feel bound. And sometimes I wonder if it's that empath in me. Another one, he said, thank you for being here. Another truth, I'm afraid. The children, yeah. That's, you know that too, don't you? That's another one, ain't it? But you know what about that? He's somewhere along the line, and I say this to any and everybody. He is loosing us from a lot of that because we can't take it with us. But I believe that if we just stay steadfast, unremovable, where Yah has us, he'll not only take our children, and if we are married, he'll take our wives and our husband. I really believe that. I really believe that because I've heard it too much. I've heard it. Most of them, y'all, I don't know if y'all know this. Most of the people did not follow Yah. Okay. Um, when you get to talking about the people of Yah, you heard about Isaac, but you didn't hear about his wife being a follower of Yah. You heard about all those women Jacob had, but you didn't hear them really being the followers of Yah. You get what I'm saying? But we today, and when I say we today, that's of the body of Hamashiach, especially I would say me. I don't know if you all can say you, but it ain't nothing in me that makes me have the ability to draw near to the Father, but it's He that is in me. It ain't me, but it's Him, and Him giving me the ability to even be here this evening, just speaking. I count it a blessing from Him. I don't gain any of it for myself. So to say that, even though my children is not, and my siblings and my mom them might not be lining up, I think that if I just stay in it for the long haul, whomever He allowed to come in, because I stayed in it for the long haul, I'll be grateful. I put it like that. I'll be grateful, because see, back then they didn't do that. They didn't do that, y'all. They did not do that. Most of them, I think Sarah was the only one that I knew of. You see, you didn't hear them. You didn't hear about Solomon's wives, or you didn't hear about everybody serving the same Yah, or you didn't hear about the wives serving, and that sort of thing. So they couldn't come into the fold, but and they wasn't serving the same Yah, no way. But by me serving Yah, I can pray for, any and everybody that, I pray for, and I would desire and it be in His will, because He even did it with Lot. Lot wasn't doing nothing right, but Lot, he didn't get to the kingdom. But see, that's the difference for now and then. I think that if we, as the body of Hamashiach, when it's time, I believe, just as it was with I said Job, because his first group of kids did not. But I like something else that Job, I heard a person talk about as far as Job. And I know a lot of you all have never heard of this, but I'm going to go on and put it before you. With Job, his sons was doing something really off the chain, y'all. They really were. And I know a lot of y'all wouldn't even digest what could they possibly be doing. 7 days, 7 sons, 7 days. Each one had his son, had his day, and they were partying hardying. And then it tells you they invited their sisters, which it was 3. At the end, when Job had gained his sons back and his daughters, not the same one, but God blessed him to have the 7 sons and the daughters. He didn't even give you all the name of the sons, but He gave you the names of the daughters. Each daughter name represent a spiritual mission, a spiritual message. You look up their name, it means a spiritual message is hidden in their name. Why? Normally throughout times, it shows you He never told you about the daughters. Y'all notice that? If one Solomon had children, you never heard anything about the daughters. It's always his son this son this son this. This goes back to what I was trying to teach you all and have been speaking on it for quite some time. It was impossible for it to have been Eve. It was always coming down the sperm. And that's why they connect the sons. The sons connects more sperms. The son connects more sperms. You see, it shows you who and the nations and all nations were coming out of the sperms of the men. So Satan knew that they were the ones, the sons were the one that's going to bring down the different generations. So he wasn't coming after Eve. Eve didn't have nothing. Oh, yeah, right. So this is why you think back and you see all the time it was the sons. And then he said he had this son had this son, this son had this son, this son had this son, this son had this son. That's because she's showing you, because these sons were bringing the nations on down, y'all. So that's why Satan chose man to deceive. He couldn't chose woman. Woman didn't have the seeds of any nation. Man did. So he knew what he was choosing. He knew who he tempted, but they covered it up, which is still okay. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't, but it goes right back to why did the father turn around and bless Job with his children, with more children, but didn't call out the names of the son. I thought that was deep, y'all. But he called out the name of the daughters that he had, the new daughters he had. And each one of their name has a spiritual a message. Look it up. Blow your mind. So, it just shows you how uh, things are not really mentioned nor taught to people because they put a cap on it for people say things to keep you from looking into things further. But I would say something to you all, and that is this: the Roman Catholic, the Jesuits, the fake Jews over there, and all of them that started education from preschool all the way up to college and trade school, everything. They were the one that came up with all of that. In it, they never told you anything that was truth. Okay, so this is why you see no one knowing the truth, even to the very end. No one understanding when this is not this, and this not this, and this is even in your study guide. You just can't seem to really see that there's so much that they didn't messed up. But through the Holy Spirit, the true teacher, he's the one that come in you. And today when I was taking a bath, I was just sitting there just thinking of how him being the true teacher, and he the one that comes in you and teach you all things. He the one that reveal things to you. He the one that shows you things to come and comfort you and give you that power through that spirit that's in you. You see, so how is it we looking anywhere on the outside of us for the answers? We have to look from the inside, and not so much it's on the outside. And when we look from the inside, we'll find the teacher that is the true teacher of all things. Okay? It's the prophecies that scary me. Which one? I know that. You know what, though? I think I'm with you on that, though. I don't think they scare me. It's just that I know I'm not going to be left out, but everybody around me most likely, not most likely, I can't say that either. Many will. So I'm not scared for me. I'm scared for everybody else, for others. And when you get to thinking about, and I know this don't sound, I think about how many adult children I have. When they were young and babies and teenagers, I ain't had no problem. It's the worry comes when they become full adults. And see, no one ever told us that. No one ever said a word, when they get adults, and when they, because it's still, even though to them they thinking, hey, I'm grown, I'm this, I do what I want, nobody tell me. But to me, if a man, nor a male nor a female, can feel a mother's love, and I'm talking about the love as the world called love. If you can't feel a mother's love on the end of a mother, and you can't feel a mother that's called to be a servant of Yah on the spirit realm, you can't feel now one of them realms, then you got to be able to feel something. You got to be able to feel something. But when you can't feel neither or nor that realm, I don't know where you're going. You still worry about them. Yep. And that's what I'm saying. You can't even get away from that. That's why I say some things you can't even get away from. It's just like it's there. As bad as you would want to, oh yes. But it seems like it's just there. And that's what to me also make me feel bound. in that way. You remember when I was telling you I feel bound in the other way, the flesh? That is it. It's like here you are, you have to, you concerned about them and where they heading and just to shake that off. Like I'm good at that, shaking things off. But hey, wait a minute, this one here is like it's hooked on to me. Wait a minute, I want to shake this off. It ain't as easy. Yep, it is connected to bound. Yes, it is. That's why I was saying, even though I'm loosed in the spirit, I mean, I'm bound in the spirit, but I feel bound in the flesh as well. It is a prophecy given to me from God for his purpose. Glory and honor, praise. It's not about me, but honestly hurts so bad. Yeah. I can imagine. I think I'm already feeling you now. I think I think I'm there too. Oh my goodness. You all, I had a night out of this world last night. Guess what I did? I drank a glass of Kool-Aid. And I knew I should not have done that. Y'all, I was hallucinating. I was tossing and turning up to 3 a.m. So I decide, I tell you what, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to pray. Because I couldn't get settled and I was battling. Oh, what was that? What was that message? What was that message? Oh, I got it down, but I'm just trying to figure out. And I just battled and tossed and turned and tears. That's what it was. And that's what was in my, I was just tossing and turning, y'all. I had a horrible night. You all, I don't know what's in the Kool-Aid, and I do know it's something because I did this before. And the sugar, and it just made me, I was crazy, y'all. I was hallucinating, laying in the bed, tossing and turning and tossing and turning. I was all over the place up to 3 a.m. in the morning. And I just decided, hey, let me just pray and start to talk and commune with Yah. And guess what? He put me down. Woo! You down? I went to sleep. But I'm serious. I tossed and turned. I went to bed early and I tossed and turned all the way up until 3 a.m. And I went to praying and praying and praying. I can tell y'all some of it. It had to do with how he's going to wipe our tears away. That's one of the messages. How I'm going to wipe thy tears away. And I was tossing and turning, but he kept telling me about wiping the tears away because it's in wiping his tears away. It's a message in it, y'all. I don't know if y'all have read it or not. There's a message in it. It is a prophecy given to me from y'all. Okay. And it's a is it a prophecy that's gonna be scary, or is it? He was telling me about tears. He's gonna wipe the tears away, and I remember saying that's got to be connected to something. I remember seeing that last night, not last night, early in the morning. And he was telling how I'm going to wipe the tears away. It's a message. Y'all, it's a mystery in it. He told me that. In wiping the tears away is to give us something to run on. Wiping the tears. Oh, I know what he was talking about. He was talking about how the time in which, not the time, the day in which we are in, y'all. And he was talking about tribulation and the day in which we are in. Let me tell y'all what he was saying. He was saying to me about how it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. Okay. And that's when he went on to saying about the tribulation and all the things that's happening and going to happen. And he's speaking to somebody that he reveals stuff that's already going on. And I'm like saying, but nobody knows nothing about that, Father. They don't act like they don't see it. They don't, it's not affecting anybody. But what he was saying is the only reason why he explained to us about how we're not going to cry no more. We're not going to mourn no more. We're not going to cry no more. He's going to wipe all our tears away. Guess why? It ain't going to be no play. That's what he was trying to explain to me last night. It ain't a cakewalk, to the point where we're going to still have tears that he's going to have to wipe away. That's what he was talking to me about when I went into praying to him. The tears, and I was like, well, but wait a minute, that's just too heavy. You mean you gonna? He said the tear. He said it's in. You can read it, Deborah. You can hear it. I am going to wipe away the tears, but he wouldn't have no tears to wipe away if it wasn't nothing that's going to cause us to have the tears anyway. So he was explaining to me, in this day, there is going to be tears, y'all. That's what he was saying. He said, and if y'all go back and you do your study, you'll find where several times throughout times in the end, he said, I think I did it under a lesson too. I think I'm going to teach it. How he's going to wipe our tears away. Oh, yes. And he said, why would I say I'm going to wipe your tears away? No more crying, no more heartache. Why do y'all think I'm going to wipe all that away? In the spirit realm, because you're going to still be feeling it. So don't take this tribulation as something light, and don't take this day that we're in as something to be nothing. Okay. He's actually meaning something behind it all, because that's what he was explaining to me. Did you ever think about the tears that I'm gonna wipe away? And I went into and I overthink when he's communicating with me. I overthink, but he like it, because it's always like, you see, well, that's good. So I know it's not that I'm overthinking. I'm actually answering what he want me to answer. Because in it, I'm like, well, okay, if you got to wipe away our tears, why are we crying? Well, we need that type of tear in the spirit realm, Father. What's going on? What women, hold up. You see, stuff like that. That gets to me, because I'm trying to figure out, when you sit here teaching me in the midnight hour about the tears you're gonna wipe away, no more moaning and crying, and you're gonna wipe away all our tears. But where we gonna get them tears from? Where them tears coming from that you got to wipe them away? It's really something to that. I'm gonna have to get in it and do my real deep study on that, because he gave me that, and I try to remember. I think I did put it down as a lesson, and we're gonna go over it so you all can see that the way we think we're going into everything all nice and dandy and beautiful, everything. Look, y'all, please. When I actually tell y'all I feel bound on both sides, I really do. I really do. And I might not need to be bound on the natural side, because if I'm bound in the spirit, that can overpower my natural. But it could be me, you see, not accepting the fact that I am loosed. He has pardoned me from that area, and I still feel fleshly bound to fleshly people that I want so bad to just. And I'm doing really good, because the Ruach in me is setting me up. So, hey, that's one thing I can tell y'all. He is setting me up so good, y'all. He really is. Dealing with me, showing me how it's important. It's important to let go. And I got you. And you know how he did it? Let me tell you how he did it. How he's still doing it, because he's still working with me. It's showing me, if I in heaven has created everything before the foundation of the world, have not I taught that to you, Deborah? So what makes you think that the way things going for you in the world, that it's going to change if I already orchestrated it from the kingdom for what it's going to be on the earth? So you down here feeling this thing, and you can't change it, and you can't, because I orchestrated it from the king. My rule is I run this. That's why the lane that he has for me is so important. So I can learn to get in it. Get out the way, get in your lane. Don't you see me driving? Get out the way, Deborah. Get in your lane. Get over there in your lane. You see? Because this lane, you ain't gonna control this one. I know I taught you since you was 4, and I taught you well, and I gave you this, and I told you this, and I told you this, and I taught you this, and I taught you this. But let me tell you, I run all lanes. And yours, you're blessed to have one. Get in it and let me drive this, take over these lanes here. So learning to let go and know that Yah, this is his lane. These are his lane and not mine. He ruled these things. And just understanding that you got children, they come and go. And I even been speaking sermons. Why? Because I feel that that's one of the biggest mysteries, is people not really knowing that the route each and every last one of us that goes out of this world is the same. So seeing someone go out is not a route you ain't gonna end up going out of. It's a route that need be. This is the way things were created. Were we taught that? No. Had we been taught it, would we see it different? Sure, we would have. But since we came out of the protocol of the way Yah had ordered things, and we decided to step into an order that wasn't the way he created it, and we end up enjoying it. So now we are for balance. When something happened, we feeling sad. But the thing of with me is knowing that you never see that person ever again. It stops right there. And that drives me back to being a mother. Who would I do whatever I can for my mother? You see? And I think of who wouldn't want a mother that if she needs you, you there. She knows you cares for her. And she when she see you, she just got the biggest smile in the world. She knows when I see this daughter, I see light. You see what I'm saying? So in that same way, when I have these children, I'm looking at them and I'm noticing they have no feeling, so it's just not there. And I know I can't teach it. And the Father says no need to keep teaching something that the things basic that's clearly seen. They can't even grip it. And he means that. People cannot even grip the basic things, let alone taking them, over here to the deep. And that I had to in this last couple of weeks realize that, okay, you have taught me this years ago, Father. I mean, years ago. And it's so 100. And this is another something that should have been taught, but it can't be taught. It couldn't be taught because they never taught the truth from the beginning. So this way, man is going to get away with everything. I mean, everything out of the order of the creation. So therefore, it's stuff that you would think that is so important. Because I said to the Father, I can teach that bad boy. I can land that bad boy. And not one man would debunk or if I had to teach it, But he said, where we at today, they gone. No one ever they don't want to fall under. It ain't that they don't want to, they can't. You see, everything is loose. I heard this one lady talking about all the demons is on the earth. And I said, did she hear one of my videos? Now I'm hearing people talk about that. I'm like saying, well, wait a minute, y'all. What do you think this on? Anytime you see this type of stuff going on this earth, you got to have some sense enough to know we are not in the same time or in yesterday. Something is going on. But see, when people ignore it and don't take heed to it, I don't know. It's just too deep. And to know it don't bring me to the level where I'm depressed, I'm stressed. To know, I think the more light that's bright in your life, light is truth. A lot of people don't know that. That light is showing you truth. Even in the midst of all the chaos in the dark, it's teaching you truth. Truth is never come to hurt you, to break you, to destroy you. It's just coming to be there so when you know what's on your left, on your right, in front of you, and in back of you. Okay? Losing family members and close friends. Yep. Losing family members and close friends actually is a beautiful prophecy, and it's powerful, but it's not time yet. I have been standing and holding it for 4.5 years. You ought to quit. If there's any consolation, know that all spirits belong to the one that gave birth. That's it. All of them. Spirit and truth. He controls it all. Yep. Mm-hmm. This is heavy. I feel your prophecy. Prophetess, it's our children. It is. Mm-hmm. And like you say, it ain't that they bad or anything like that. You know, it's not. Minds are not drinking. Minds are not drugging. Minds are not out in the streets going to bars. All of them work. You know, it's just that. Yeah, I was thinking something really stupid. Yeah, has not forgotten about us. Yeah, thank you for that. Yah has not forgotten about us. That I truly believe. I said, but if they come in, if it get to the point where things are happening, they come to my door, I ain't gonna let them in. Oh, y'all don't understand what I'm talking about, though. I know y'all don't. Because when you know you the light, when you know you the light, you have to be very careful out here. Very careful. And it's not that you have to be careful if the Holy Spirit is in you. So I need to not make it sound like it's in my power for me to protect myself and to be careful, because it's not. Greater is he that is in me than he that's in anything on the outside of me. But it's just the idea of don't walk into dark alleys. I put it like that. What you talking about? Did you say I should quit? What? What? When did I say that? Did I say that? No, yeah, yes, I did. I might have said something like that when you said holding it for 4.5 years. I think I might have said that. I might have said when you said 4.5 years. I know you said, Deborah, you're not supposed to laugh. Oh, Father, Yah, what are we going to do? I don't know. All right. I will let mine in that far until they show me something different. Sometimes it might not be what they can show. You might not know them like you think you know them. That's the thing about it. Yep, that's the thing about it. You'll never hear nobody ever saying nothing about mine. They all tell you them the best men on the earth. You got my mother had 7 children, and hey, she quick to say your kids is not like everybody's. That's what my mom said. I was just non-tolerant, you guys. I wasn't a mother that whooped and beat and all that old crazy stuff. But as I continue to live, I start to realize that That father that was in me when I was 4 was the same one in me in elementary, high school, when I went to college, when I went to all these jobs. Everywhere I went, it was never me. It was always him. I mean, y'all, how people just the way people treated me. And I cannot look back and say that no one ever treated me unjust or unfair. I'm serious, y'all. Y'all would probably think I'm a cuckoo clock, but let me tell you, I don't. I just don't know. I do know. That's the thing about it. So what I do is I come to grip the fact that, Father, just as you said, it is. Greater is he that is in me than he that's in the world. So therefore, it was that great that he is that followed me since I was 4. You get what I'm saying? That's what it was all the time. Because I sit back and couldn't understand. Even when I got in high school, you think anybody bothered Sister Deborah? Mm-mm. It was the spirit that was in me, upon me, that the people were afraid of. At my sister's funeral, and the young man got up there. Y'all, this young man can really sing. And he have sung at every funeral. He been knowing our family. His family, I think his mother had like 10 and my mother had 7. And they stayed down the street from us, and they had mother and father. We had mother and father in the house. And he always sing at any event that we have. So he was singing, and before he sung, he had to bring me up. And I'm like saying, wait a minute, Father, y'all, where did that come from? But it was okay with me because it also allowed everybody to hear the protection that one felt that my sister that was passed away had when it came down to me. You see, that's what I'm saying. And I sit back and I look over my living and I say, they had no idea. The same creator that I speak to you all about, that's greater in me, he was protecting them through me. You see what I'm saying? And my son in Texas was talking about how he was crying because my sister was telling her, before she passed away, she was telling him the story about how 3 guys was over in the park taking her bike and how I pulled up. Oh, it was on. It was on. I think I was like 14. Yeah, I think I was 14, and my little sister was like 10. She had just got a brand new bike, and they were trying to take it. What's going on? What's the problem? You know, she was telling my youngest son, not my youngest son, my son in Texas, and he said he was just crying because he said my cousin that was staying with my sister in Houston, Texas, when he went over there to stay to help my sister, and she was telling her how my cousin told her, I ain't seen in all my life a woman as strong as your mother. I said, she said that? He said, yeah. He said, yeah. And she told me what all you did and everything. She was like, he said he was in tears. It's the same son. Twice he's in tears. But what I mean by that is, it was never me, y'all. It brings me back to the Father, how great he can actually be in us. You know, he can be exactly what he say. Greater is he that is in thee, Deborah, than he that's in the world. Now, you can tell somebody something. Look at throughout your whole living. You telling these people when you was 4, you knew something about me at 4. You know why? Because I was in you all that time. Every job I worked, never had any issue. When it came to black and white, I ain't never had any issue. Never. I walk into a place where I'm the only black there, I get the job. Stand down. You see, let me tell y'all, this is how my whole living have been. My whole living has been like this. But I ain't gonna say I realize it's just the way I'm saying it. But when it all said and done, that shows me, nobody else, how greater he has been, what he said what he mean, and he mean what he said. Greater is he that is in thee than he that is in the world. That's the same one with me today. Even as I'm here talking to you all, that's the same one. And don't think I don't know no better. Because I do. I do. You see? So when I think of that, I think about throughout my whole living, that's a lot of years that he's been with me. I cannot say that he ain't all that answer. I can't. I can't see him to be nothing but what he said he was. That's what he's been to me. Okay. Okay. Someone says, I have tried many times. Each guess what I want. Me, I quit. He won't let you quit. So in the form, like you're bound, because it's will not mine. It's his will, not mine. I don't know why this little thing here is covering up the I don't know why that's over there. It's covering up. There it goes. It's off now. Okay, there it is. It's he won't let me out quit because it's his will, not mine. Praise the Most High Yah. I'm so appreciative. You prophetess. Thank you, baby, and everyone in the chat for pouring out tonight. Receive it. All right, all right, all right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And I, Sister Deborah, is going to go back to the drawing board. But I'm gonna get on that thing about he said to me he warned us about wiping our tears away. I'm gonna get into that. Wiping our tears away. That's something to really. So we're gonna be tearing up, huh? That's the only thing I can see. But I, Sister Deborah, appreciate each and every last one of you all tuning in. I hope everyone had a wonderful Sabbath. I sure did. And you all have a wonderful rest of the night. And I, Sister Deborah, will be back. And I say, shalom and shalom. Praise the Most High Yah. Yes, yes, yes. Praise the Most High Yah. Praise Yah. That's right. You're welcome. Thank you.